Hey everyone, so welcome to the Miss Mitochondria channel where we talk about health, science, and biology topics. I know in the first video I did not have a name for this channel yet, but here you go. It's called Miss Mitochondria, and Miss Mitochondria is me, okay? So today I want to talk about the misconceptions of the hymen. So if you don't know what the hymen is, and I can't speak for countries outside of the United States, but here in the United States in sex ed in public school, we learned that the hymen is actually some like piece of tissue that's in the vagina that breaks the first time a girl has sex or uses a tampon, or of course there's always the lovely example of riding a horse or falling off a bike. So I'm here to debunk the common myths about the hymen and to discuss what it really is, and yeah, so let's get into it, y'all. So first of all, in order to understand what the hymen is, you have to understand the basic anatomy of the female reproductive system. So, and I'll put a visual. So the female reproductive system, once you get to the internal aspects, it goes from vaginal opening to the vaginal canal, which is where the penis goes, and the baby comes out of. Then you have your cervix, which is a muscle that contracts and dilates, or mostly dilates, I should say, when you're in labor and giving birth, because it has to open for the baby to come out. And then you have your uterus on top of that, and the reason the cervix is called the cervix is because it's known as the neck of the vagina. So hence why if you ever take an anatomy class, the excuse me, your neck region is also called the cervical region. So hence why the cervix is called the cervix, because it's the neck of the uterus. So then of course you have the uterus where menstrual cycle tissue grows, where babies grow, and then off the uterus you have the fallopian tubes, which science is actually kind of moving away from calling them the fallopian tubes, because fallopian is named after the guy who discovered them. Hence I said the guy. Anyway, so they're moving more towards not naming things after people who discover them, because sometimes it can be misleading or confusing. So we're moving more towards calling them the oviducts rather than the fallopian tubes, which makes more sense because your ova, aka the egg, travels down the duct to go to the uterus to be fertilized. Okay, so, and then of course you have your two ovaries at the end of those oviducts. So that's the basic, very basic anatomy of the female reproductive system. So what the hymen actually is, and before I get into that, the hymen has been used to kind of control women in a way, because a lot of people base virginity off of the hymen, and which biologically is not, I'll say it's not biologically sound, because every vagina, every hymen is different, just like every penis is different. So, you know, and as far as the topic of virginity is just something that was a social construct created by cis hetero men probably millennia ago. So, but that, you know, that's a different topic for another day. So the hymen is actually not a piece of skin that tears. It's actually comparable to the cervix. So if you understand the cervix is a round muscle at the neck of the uterus, like I said, and it dilates. It's always a little bit open, okay? It's always a little bit open, maybe about a centimeter, about like that. And that allows for the menstrual tissue to flow out, sperm to go in, so on and so forth. But during labor and childbirth, it opens to about this big, about 10 centimeters is the most, to allow the baby to come through. And it, you know, and of course, once you give birth and all that, it does go back to normal, okay? It is a muscle. So the hymen is very similar to it, except it's, instead of being at the neck of the uterus, it's down further at the opening of the vagina. The thing is, it's not a muscle, it is tissue, and it's thinner than the cervix was, or would be. And when you first have sex, it stretches, okay? It's not something that breaks, it stretches. And the thing is, the problem with this is, by, you know, all these people that like to give their daughters virginity tests, like TI, for example, and all these people who judge a girl by their virginity and whatever, a lot of women don't even have this, or they might have a thicker one, or some women might have a thinner one that doesn't really give them too much problem when they first have sex. It's all, everybody's different. So to judge all women, you know, to use virginity to judge all women is not really fair, because everybody's different, okay? So yeah, so the hymen is just round tissue with an opening that stretches, and, you know, over time it can fade away, you know, once you get used to having sex more often, or maybe once you give birth or something like that. But let's say, you know, sometimes it can even grow back, like if you, say, don't have sex for a while. It all just depends, and like I said, everybody's different. And so I really don't think we should be judging women by this, as far as tightness of the vagina, and which that'll be a different video for another day. But yeah, so I just want to say that it's actually kind of dangerous for people to test for virginity and stuff like that, you know, because you really can't test to see if someone's had sex before, because like I said, every vagina is different, and these things that men have been doing it's kind of barbaric in a way, and like I said, it's not biologically sound. So I hope you all learned something about the hymen today, and I hope this video was helpful to you. Click the like and subscribe button, and if you have any video requests, let me know in the comments. Alright? Bye!